Hey everyone, it's Trevor with eTrailer. Today we're doing an overview and an installation of the Timbren Front Suspension on our 2011 Thor Serrano Motorhome. Now, a few reasons you might be wondering why you want the suspension enhancement on your motorhome. Typically, these things are like wind sails whenever you get into those heavy winds, so having that to decrease that body roll is going to help a ton with steering and handling on this vehicle. Now, once you get it mounted up, this is what your Timbren suspension is going to look like, and just how it's going to work is on our motorhome, it's going to be in constant contact down here on the top of the leaf spring, and anytime you hit any bumps, it's going to try and move the suspension up. It's going to hit this. The Timbren suspension will actually absorb that impact so you don't feel it in your RV. Now, as far as the installation of this goes, it's not too bad. If you had some older jounce bumpers, though, in this spot, I would recommend heavily getting putting some penetrating oil on there, because it's going to be a little tough to get off if it's all rusted up in the threads. But when you're installing these two, you just want to make sure that that nut that sits in between this plate and the frame is down really tight, because I did run into a spot where it wasn't as tight as I thought it was, and then it just kind of spun in place, and I had to fish an extension with a socket through this hole to hold it in place while I took it back off to retighten it. So as long as you follow that and get that tightened down correctly, you should have no issues with this install. To begin our installation, what I'm going to do is I start off by putting one of our M10 bolts through the washer inside of our spring, and then I put a nut on the other side, got that down snug, and then we're going to go underneath, remove the existing jounce bumper, and then add a nut and a nylon lock nut on top of it. Now, for the existing jounce bumper, I went ahead and used a 15 millimeter wrench to get the nut off. You will have another washer on top of that, but took it off ahead of time because it's a little hard to see on camera. But for the new jounce bumpers, we're going to be using a 17 millimeter socket for our nylon lock nut. You will need to jack it up from some point on the frame that is going to let your suspension hang down to actually be able to pull this out, since this is in constant contact with our spring here. Once you have it jacked up so you can do that, just simply reach over here once you got the bolt taken out and pull it down. And now what we'll do from there, take our new one, go right back to that same hole, throw it up into place, and we'll put a nut on top of that. And now with our jounce bumper on hand tight, we can come back with that 17 millimeter socket I was talking about earlier and get it all slugged up. Now, once we have this tightened down, you can go ahead and repeat that process on the other side. Well, I hope this video helps you in installing your front Timbren suspension on your 2011 Thor Serrano Motorhome.